You moved to Ashburn Hollow in April. The town was small, 4,000 people, one grocery store, a post office that closed at noon. Your house backed onto an empty lot that, according to your neighbor, Margaret, had been a community garden until they shut it down last fall. You asked why they shut it down. Margaret said, "It got complicated," and changed the subject. The garden was behind a chain-link fence with a padlocked gate. Through the fence you could see raised beds, a tool shed, a compost bin, and a laminated sheet of paper zip-tied to the gate. You photographed it with your phone and zoomed in. It was a ruled sheet, 17 rules, typed in a mono-spaced font. The first 11 were ordinary. 1. Garden hours are dawn to dusk. No exceptions. 2. Clean up all tools after use. 3. Do not use chemical pesticides or herbicides. 4. Respect neighboring plots. Do not enter a plot that is not assigned to you. 5. Water only from the provided spigots. 6. Report any pest infestations to the garden coordinator immediately. 7. Compost only organic material. No meat, dairy, or cooked food. 8. Keep the pathways clear of debris and personal items. 9. Label all plantings with the provided markers. 10. Do not remove soil from the garden for any reason. 11. Children under 12 must be accompanied by an adult at all times. Then the font changed. Rules 12 through 16 were typed in a slightly different monospace, narrower, with a faint misalignment on the letter E, as if the typewriter's E key struck at a different angle. 12. Do not plant anything that was not purchased from the Ashburn Hollow Feed and Seed on Main Street. Seeds from other sources will not grow here. 13. If a plant grows taller than the fence, do not cut it down. Report it to the garden coordinator and do not return until you are told the plot has been cleared. 14. Do not enter the garden after 6 p.m., even if the gate is open. This rule was crossed out with a black marker. The strike-through is above. 15. If you hear humming from the compost bin, cover it with the black tarp stored in the tool shed and leave the garden immediately. 16. Do not count the plots. If you have already counted them, do not recount. The number is not consistent, and acknowledging this will make it worse. Rule 17 was handwritten. The handwriting was large, unsteady, and written in what appears to be red ink or diluted paint. 17. They are not tomatoes. Do not eat them. Do not can them. Do not give them away. Burn the harvest and leave the plot empty for 1 full year. He showed the photo to Margaret. She read the rules, and her face went pale. She said the first 11 had always been there. She had never seen Rules 12 through 17. She said the garden coordinator was a man named Phil Drucker, who had moved away last November. No one had taken over the role. You went back to the garden the next day. The laminated sheet was gone. The zip tie was still on the gate, cut cleanly. You asked around. No one admitted to removing it. Phil Drucker's phone number was disconnected. His house on Birch Street had a "for sale" sign that looked like it had been there for a while. You contacted the Ashburn Hollow Historical Society. A woman named Greta answered, and, after a long pause when you mentioned the garden, said she would look into it. She called you back 3 hours later and said the garden had been established in 1987 and had operated continuously until last October. She said the closure was due to maintenance issues and refused to elaborate. You searched the county agricultural extension records. The garden had been flagged twice, once in 2003 and once in 2019, for what the reports called crop anomaly. Both reports were 1 page long and contained no details beyond the phrase "standard remediation applied." Both times, the garden was closed for exactly 1 year and then reopened. You drove past the garden at dusk. The gate was padlocked. The raised beds were visible in the fading light. In plot 7, 3rd row, second from the left, something was growing. It was tall, much taller than any winter crop should be, and even from outside the fence, you could see that the fruit was not shaped like any tomato you had ever seen. It was too symmetrical, too uniform in color, a deep, wet red that didn't reflect the fading light the way a normal surface would. And it was the same size as a human heart. You did not enter the garden. You did not count the plots. The next morning, plot 7 was empty. The soil was disturbed, as if something had been pulled up by the roots. There was a smell in the air, sweet, organic, and faintly metallic. Margaret moved away in June. She listed her house for sale without telling anyone and was gone within a week. The house is still empty. The garden is still behind its fence. The tool shed door is open. You have not gone back to check if the rules sheet has been replaced. You don't want to know if there's a Rule 18.